Hello, you're watching Shalom World News. I'm David Kerr from Glasgow in Scotland, and these are your latest news headlines from around the world. Pope Francis has condemned the ongoing massacre of innocents across the world, whether in the womb or through the atrocities of war, identifying such children as the little Jesus of today. The Holy Father made his comments upon the annual observance of the Feast of the Holy Innocents on December the 28th, which commemorates the death of those infants murdered upon the orders of King Herod. Pope Francis expressed sorrow that, as in the time of Herod, the intrigues of evil which oppose divine light operates in the shadows of hypocrisy and concealment. Meanwhile, the Israeli War Cabinet Minister Benny Gantz has suggested time is running out for a diplomatic solution on Israel's northern border, where the Islamist militia group Hezbollah are ramping up its attacks upon Israel. In a major escalation, Hezbollah carried out an extensive bombardment on northern Israel on Wednesday, constituting one of the largest single-day strikes since the commencement of the current cycle of daily attacks. Mr. Gantz said that Israel will act to remove Hezbollah from the border if the militia group's attacks continue. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken has paid a visit to Mexican President Lopez Obrador to discuss the escalating issue of unauthorized migration into the United States. It's estimated that 10,000 illegal migrants are entering the US every day. According to reports, the Mexican president agreed that his country will make greater efforts to stop the migrant flow, but also urged that the reasons for immigration, such as extreme poverty, street gangs, and economic stagnation, be tackled as well. The United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights has urged authorities in Nigeria to promptly investigate the deadly attacks over the Christmas weekend in the Christian-dominated area of the country's Plateau state, which left at least 160 people dead. Volker Turk emphasised the need to hold those responsible accountable in a fair trial. Mr. Turk stated on Thursday that the cycle of impunity fueling recurrent violence must be urgently broken, and added that the government should take meaningful steps to address root causes and prevent the recurrence of such devastating violence. According to the human rights group International Society for Human Rights and Rule of Law, more than 50,000 Christians have been killed in Nigeria since 2009, with another 14 million Christians forced to flee their homes. A Christian woman in the state of Oregon is challenging a court's decision to deny her the opportunity to adopt children from the state system. Mother of 5 Jessica Bates has filed a federal lawsuit against Oregon's Department of Human Services after her adoption request was rejected. The basis for the denial, she says, was her refusal to express support for gender ideology and homosexuality. Attorneys from the legal advocacy group Alliance Defending Freedom says Mrs. Bates would have been appealing a previous court ruling supporting the state's decision with the US Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit. The lawsuit argues that the state's regulations on sexuality and pronouns violates Mrs. Bates' First Amendment rights to free speech by restricting how she should raise an adoptive child. The Russian Orthodox Church has restated its opposition to abortion. Church spokesman Vladimir Legoida clarified in a statement on Wednesday that the Church's ruling body, the Holy Synod, presided over by Moscow's Patriarch Kirill, views all elective abortions as murder. Mr. Legoida added that regardless of the gestational age or method of delivery, the Church categorically compares arbitrary surgical or medical abortion to murder. The Church's complete opposition to abortion puts it at odds with Russian President Vladimir Putin, who has previously said that women have a limited right to end their pregnancies. In central Liberia, over 40 people were killed and at least 83 others injured after a leaking fuel tanker truck exploded. The blast occurred on Tuesday in the town of Totota in the central part of the West African country. Witnesses say that after the truck crashed and flipped into a ditch on the road, people climbed upon it to retrieve the leaking gasoline, with some people even piercing the tank with screwdrivers. Liberia's President George Weah has expressed his condolences to the families of the deceased. The Spanish government have deployed riot police to break up a group of pro-life campaigners who were praying the Holy Rosary outside of an abortion clinic in Madrid. The incident occurred on December the 28th as 10 young people prayed the Rosary in front of the Data abortion clinic in the Spanish capital. The police interrupted the pro-lifers and made them move 100 metres away from the place where they continued to pray the Rosary on their knees. A prominent Hong Kong pro-democracy campaigner has fled the territory in order to seek asylum in the United Kingdom. 22-year-old Tony Chung, who had previously been jailed under the territory's national security law, said life in Hong Kong had become intolerable. Mr. Chung said he was subjected to continual observation and had felt forced to become a paid informant to police, providing details about other pro-democracy activists. The US-based Fellowship of Catholic University Students, or FOCUS, has revealed that over 18,000 participants from across the United States have confirmed their attendance at the Seek 24 Catholic Conference, which begins next week. The conference is taking place in St. Louis in Missouri. Seek is a biennial event aimed at inspiring young people to deepen their Catholic faith and share it with others. The conference will feature renowned Catholic speakers, fellowship activities, praise and worship, Eucharistic adoration and Holy Mass. Curtis Martin, who's one of the organisers of the event and a co-founder of Focus, said that the record-breaking number of registrations for Seek 24 is a testament to the power of God. An aerial strike on the grounds of a church in Ethiopia's Oromia region has killed 8 people and injured 5 others as they were collecting corn. That's according to 2 witnesses and an opposition political party. The Ethiopian government, however, has dismissed the accounts of the airstrike as, quote, an absolute lie. Peace talks between Ethiopia's government and the rebel Oromo Liberation Army aimed at ending a decades-old conflict concluded without a deal in November, leading to sporadic attacks in Oromia, which is the country's largest region. Finally, the female religious order, the Sisters of Life, have announced that they are teaming up with the Knights of Columbus to host a pro-life festival in Washington, D.C. to coincide with the National March for Life in January. The organisers say that the Life Fest will feature dynamic speakers and testimonies, music by Sarah Kroger, and Damascus worship. It will also include Holy Mass, Eucharistic processions, and veneration of first-class relics of the recently beatified Ulma family. Well, that's your latest headlines for now. Do join us for more tomorrow. You can also join us at swnews.org for news updates. Shalom.